Welcome to the first real episode of Speculative Biology inside a McDonald's Cup Connectionless Future. We'll be talking about a few plants and animals, as well as their descendants. When I say check out the original, check out on top of the original ones, you should check out the original video for more information. So first, we got Falsus gramen, which is one of my favorites. On top, we got all the normal descendants, but one thing is off. Luteus falsum has both brine cells and photogears, rather than just photogears, which gives it a little bit more protection. And then, for the second generation, on top of everything else, we got two descendants of Luteus falsum. And then there is Praepostrus falsum, which is even more plant-like, which I will explain in further detail. Praepostrus falsum is like normal Luteus falsum, except it has evolved fruit-like things made of meat. You might ask why Trandifer is eating this. Well, that's because Trandifer is blind and has no way to tell between Praepostrus falsum and any normal plant. Also, there's Latiotus, because Latiotus is an omnivore. There are eggs inside of those false fruit, and these get passed by the animal's digestive system. Then it'll start to decompose whatever it can while it grows its brine cells and photogears, and through its skin, absorb the nutrients in a similar way to tapeworms. Anyway, this organism has three methods of reproduction. 1, broadcast spawning. 2, the aforementioned flesh fruit. And 3, a completely unique method. A part of it made of a bag of amoeboid stem cells called a blob may come off of an existing Praepostrus falsum and go around eating and finding a good place to metamorphose into the adult. What does it eat? Well, it may eat small to medium-sized plants, decaying matter, and maybe even dead animals. After it gets enough energy, it will find a good place to metamorphose. It will start to differentiate brine cells and photogears to power up the rest of its building process. That giant leaf thing you see actually has brine cells on the bottom to protect it, and photogears on the top for all the energy. And then we got Luteus falsum, which is like the Luteus falsum from the mainline universe, although it went extinct for the exact same reason as Luteus falsum did in the mainline universe. Yeah, pretty boring. And then we got Pseudopenna which is a tiny animal similar to Penna armi, which filters out dust and flies using its wings. Pseudopenna armi is a descendant of Arcus cellula that isn't poisonous and doesn't have claws, and therefore this is a generalist species. We got two plants, Brevis myces and Impetus calmus. You see, Impetus calmus is a descendant of Expeditus calmus that instead of walking, it slashes oncoming grazers like Trandifer, which can cause quite a bit of bleeding. And Brevis mycetes is a descendant of Mortis anthrophagus that's even more fungus-like. You see, one plant can have multiple stems, and they actually have no photogears at all. Some even devolved into filamentous structures. Oh, and I almost forgot, there is another descendant of Expeditus calmus called Expeditus calmus tuberosus, which has tubers so it doesn't die when it uproots itself. Sometimes these tubers may fall off and are packed full of vital nutrients. They're seen as a delicacy by herbivores. Well, these are all the descendants for now. There is still much more to talk about, like undiscovered species that appeared after what was supposed to be the connection. You see, I am actually taking some artistic liberties here. You see, that's the entire purpose of Connectionless Future. Thank you all for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you very, very soon.